Last year, Notre Dame played in the ACC so they could play during the 2020 season after most conferences moved to a conference-only season. This year, they are back to being an independent and will have a new starting quarterback. But how will they do? Let's talk about that. As we enter the month of July, we are now in prime preview magazine season as the college football season quickly approaches. Over the next 2 months, I will be previewing every college football team, all 130, and in this episode, I will be looking into Notre Dame. As I mentioned earlier, Notre Dame played in the ACC due to the global events and went 10-2, only losing to Clemson in the ACC championship game and Alabama in the college football playoffs. Going into 2021, Notre Dame ranks 123rd when it comes to returning production, only returning 49% of their production as of February 1st. On offense, they returned 44% of their production, while on defense they returned 53% of their production. When it comes to the offensive side of the ball, Notre Dame will need to replace 9 starters from last year's team, including quarterback. The quarterback battle will be between Wisconsin transfer Jack Coan, Drew Pine, and incoming freshman Tyler Buckner. Coan is projected to win the starting quarterback job due to his starting experience at Wisconsin. The last time Coan was a full-time starter, he led the Badgers to a Big Ten championship game in 2019 with a heavy dose of short to intermediate passes and 18 career starts. Brian Kelly is expected to keep the competition open as we head into training camp. If Coan does win the job, the offense may look a little different as he likes to stay in the pocket. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees told The Athletic he's got excellent feel within the pocket in terms of when to climb up, when to slide, when to move, and his eyes never really seem to dip. He does a nice job of keeping a level of focus down the field and being able to drive the ball to different areas of the field. Is he the creator or the runner that Ian is? Probably not. Does he do some things in the pocket where he's able to operate there that maybe Ian didn't always do? Probably. Michael Mayer will be a key weapon for whoever is playing quarterback as he dominated during the spring practice. He is Notre Dame's leading returner in receptions with 42, receiving yards with 450, and touchdown catches with 2, and could be a finalist for awards at the end of the season. There are questions at wide receiver though. Kevin Austin Jr. returns after breaking his foot twice last season and only played in 13 games throughout his career due to injuries and suspension. Avery Davis is the most reliable wide receiver on the roster, playing well in the slot last year. Others in the wide receiver room include Joe Wilkins, Brady Lindsey, Lawrence Keys III, Xavier Watts, and Lorenzo Styles Jr. Notre Dame will be replacing 4 starters on the offensive line. Jarrett Patterson, the only returning starter, moved from center to left tackle, but may end up playing guard according to The Athletic. Notre Dame does have confidence in Josh Luggs and Tosh Baker. Blake Fisher has also been playing well also. Michael Carmody could be the 4th tackle. Zach Carroll is expected to be the starting center, while Keen Madden, Andrew Kristofic, and Rocco Spindler could be fighting for the guard spot. Madden is a transfer from Marshall who has 31 career starts and has potential to be an All-American. Where there aren't questions is the Irish ground game, as they return one of the best tandems in college football between Kerryon Williams and Chris Tyree. Williams rushed for 1,125 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground last season. Tyree, on the other hand, rushed for 496 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground, and is the speedier of the two. The question is whether they will be able to perform at a high level with 4 new starters on the offensive line. Although they have more returning production, they will have a brand new defensive coordinator in Marcus Freeman after Clark Lea left for the Vanderbilt coaching job. Freeman was a great defensive coordinator at Cincinnati and could be a future head coach. Freeman plans to use Lea's scheme, the 3-3-5, which held 27 of 38 opponents under 21 points. Drew White should be a defensive leader for the Irish and will be joined by Bo Bauer, Maris Leafau, and Shane Simmons. Myron Tovavilio Amosa will be back inside for the Irish and should have a strong season. Isaiah Foskey and Jordan Bedaho are both former 4-star recruits who should fit the Viper role perfectly. Jack Kaiser is expected to replace Owusu Koromoa this season, as he will be backed up by converted safety Isaiah Pryor. Kyle Hamilton should be a key player for the Irish, as he could be a future top 10 pick and All-American at safety. Although he missed spring practice recovering from an ankle injury, Freeman had positive things to say, telling The Athletic the length he brings to our defense is second to none. You can watch the film from last year, but until you see this guy live and in person, you don't realize, man, how long and how much room and area and space he takes up. He will be joined by Houston Griffith or DJ Brown at safety. Clarence Lewis, a converted wide receiver, should be the starting corner this year, with Tyreek Bracy and Raymond Henderson being wildcards. Freeman spoke on his defense to The Athletic, saying, "We want to be aggressive in what we do. Sometimes giving those guys the opportunity to cut loose and be disruptive is what they're talking about. It still has to fit within the scheme. Once they continue to get to know the scheme and know exactly what we're looking for, there's some freedom within there to be a football player. I tell them all the time, let's be football players, not football players." Notre Dame will also return both kickers Jonathan Dewart and punter Jay Bramblett, and their return game can be a dangerous one with Tyree returning kickoffs. When it comes to predicting how good Notre Dame will be, the predictions are all over. Athlon projects they will go 10-2, while ESPN projects them to go 7-5. According to ESPN, they have a 68% chance to beat Florida State during their home opener, and then play Toledo and Purdue at home, which should be Irish wins. They then travel to Chicago to play the Wisconsin Badgers in a game ESPN gives them a 33% chance to win, followed by Cincinnati, at Virginia Tech, USC, and North Carolina, which ESPN considers all toss-up games. They finished the season against Navy, at Virginia, Georgia Tech, and at Stanford, which are all expected to be wins for the Irish. When it comes to my prediction, I believe Notre Dame will go 9-3. I think they will split their toss-up games and lose to Wisconsin, while I believe their ceiling, if everything goes right, is 11-1, and if everything goes wrong, 6-6. They're an extremely interesting team to project, as there are a lot of question marks around their roster, and this year is believed to be a transition year with the idea of them making a run for the playoffs next year. But what do you think? How will the Irish play this season, and who will become a breakout star? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the preview series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.